we're going to take a look at in this video, lesson 7, text 5 through 8. We're going to take a look at the video. In this video, we're going to take a look at we're going to take a look at lesson 7, text 5 through 8, and learning literature and art in the Middle Ages and how it changed, how it flourished. And so, first of all, looking at, so you probably need to have your guided reading out in another tab as you're looking at this, in another tab as you're looking at this. So, looking at factors during this time period, later on during the time period, you had the literature, learning, and arts in the Middle Ages, increasing prosperity, contact with other cultures. There was, toward the end of the Middle Ages, 1200, as we start to get into the Renaissance, not the early part, right after the fall of the Roman Empire, but later on, you had an increasing prosperity and contact with other cultures and a rediscovery of ancient learning. So, teachings of the Greek philosophers caused a conflict with some medieval Christians, because, like, as you may remember, Greek philosophers like Aristotle wanted to use reason, and that we talked about, the idea of humanism, and the idea that people's thoughts had value, and getting to the truth by using reason. But medieval Christians believed that, as we've talked about, that the church was actually the final authority, and so this was in conflict. How did they resolve? How was this conflict resolved? Well, there's a term that you need to understand: scholasticism. That the Christians use this term to resolve beliefs, and basically what it's kind of summarized in Thomas Aquinas' book Summa Theologica. Basically, scholasticism is that faith and reason could exist in harmony. Natural laws supersede government laws, including the rights to challenge unjust rulers. So basically, faith and reason, if there's a ruler, a king, pope, a bishop who's abusing his power, then they have the right to challenge those rulers, according to Thomas Aquinas' Summa Theologica. This was like a forerunner to what we'll talk about with the Enlightenment thinkers, and that people have more rights to live under just rulers, as opposed to being oppressed, as sometimes they were during the feudal age. So another thing that would happen during this time is the idea of Gothic style, and you're asked to insert a photo of an example. If you go to text 6 in the Pearson Realized book, lesson 7, text 6, you have an example of the Notre Dame church in Paris. You see the thinner, higher walls, as opposed to the fortress-like architecture that was permeated in the early Middle Ages, allowing more light in, higher, thinner walls, higher, thinner ceilings, that allowed more natural light in. This is what emerged during this time period: flying buttresses and exterior stone support with the higher, thinner walls, and massive windows to bring light into cathedrals and churches. So this is kind of, you could look at this as kind of the start of the church, of the spreading of knowledge that would really take hold in the Renaissance.